On this episode of Searching for History, we're in Washington State's Old West town, Winthrop.
Here at the forks of the rushing Methow, Boston-bred Guy Waring founded Winthrop in 1891. Winthrop's first postmaster named the town after Theodore Winthrop, a young Yale graduate who toured the Northwest in 1853.
We've learned a secret about Winthrop, so if you watch till the end of the video, you'll learn what the secret is.
Look, it says closed and open.
Oh, yeah, That's not confusing at all.
So what'd you get?
I got this hat.
UFOs over Winthrop. You know, this Winthrop kind of feels like the Virginia city of Washington.
Yeah, it's very reminiscent of Virginia City. I like these candlesticks. I love this yellow stripy shirt right here in the window.
Well, I don't think I need another hat.
No, I don't think so. I think if we got any more hats, we'd need to build a new shelf.
Yeah, we might need a special room just for hats.
Yeah.
Winthrop was incorporated in 1924. So across the street over there is Three Fingered Jack's Saloon, and that's the oldest operating saloon in the state of Washington. Well, what do you think of Winthrop so far?
Well, I really like it. It's nice to see it when I'm more of a grown-up.
Because you were here when you were a little kid?
Yeah, I don't really remember it from then.
The Emporium. I love towns with these old boardwalks. We're at the Shafer Historical Museum in Winthrop, so let's go in and take a look. The Shafer Museum is open daily in the summer months and then a more limited schedule the rest of the year. It looks like entrance into the museum is by donation only. The Pioneer Press. Look at this printing machine, printing press.
Yeah, it's a treadle press.
What's a treadle press?
It uses a treadle.
Can you explain that to us?
Here's the treadle.
Okay. Various printing presses. Here's a Babcock press.
Yeah, I never used one of these. Crazy.
It's saying that this was bought by the Methow Valley News in 1947 and used until 1976. We have some horseless carriages in here. Looks like an actual carriage in the back. Here's a Rickenbacker. Oh, a sleigh. See that? There's a sleigh.
Years of plentiful rainfall convinced settlers to grow apples as a cash crop starting in the early 1900s. Withering drought began in 1913, lasted until 1929, driving most orchardists out of business. Then the winter of 1968-69 brought temperatures of minus 50 degrees that killed trees and ended orchard era in this valley.
It's really too bad that the apple orchards lasted here until as late as 1969, but then a freeze just drove the industry out of business. So what do we have in here? This is different types of equipment. So that's a fruit box lidding machine.
Apparently this box litter simplified preparation for fruit boxes for shipment. If you have your box that needs to be packed full of apples, it has apples in it, and you have a guy with a hammer and some nails, he has to pound all the nails in, and that takes a certain amount of time. But if you have a machine that just stamps all the nails in at once, then you can just load your boxes through a conveyor belt and stamp the, nail all the lids on at once.
So this is Doc John. Wonder what's up with that. The challenging life of a frontier doctor. Oh, I like the old bottles. Old medicine bottles. So here's kind of musical instruments you'd find in the pioneer era. That little organ. Look at the old cameras.
Yeah.
Well, you've been asking for a new stove.
Yep, this is the newest stove in Erin's kitchen.
It has all the bells and whistles.
Actually, you can get new wood stoves that are just like this, but new.
Ooh, some transfer print. Look at that transfer wear in there. Decal wear.
Oh, that's really cool.
You have blue transfer wear, but then you have gilded decal wear. I'll put the date ranges in the video of kind of when they were manufactured. So there's more gilded decal wear down there. And then that looks like red transfer wear right in there. It's hard to see with the reflection. And is it bigger than a bread box? Now that I'm seeing more of these buildings, I don't think they're actually historical buildings.
No.
Seems like they're just mock-ups to put these historical items in.
But that's okay. It gives you a sense of the history.
Here's a picture of Winthrop in 1914. So right here behind me is a map that shows the location of all the homesteads here in the Methow Valley. It's like where we're staying up by Patterson Lake. There's a couple homesteads. Look, Last Chance Peak. There must be mines up there. I don't know, Erin. I might have to take you up to Last Chance Peak.
What happens there?
We'll find out. What are we looking at here? So this is a winch to lower a mining bucket down into a mine. They're showing that as a vertical exploratory shaft. Then you have the horizontal production shaft. So right here is an ore stamp. So this would crush the ore, pulverize it. This rare stamp mill uses a rotary vertical inclining wedge instead of a horizontal cam system, raise and drop the stamps to crush ore. So this is an ore mill. If you see here, they dump the ore in and then it's pulverized. Slurries of sand and water come into here and then it's separated, and that's where they can pull the gold out. So there's the ore stamps right there. Okay. You should come look at this, Erin. It's pretty cool. So basically, each step in this process breaks the ore down further to refine it, to then have it separated. So this is the shaker table. And then this down here is called the vanner. They must have pulled this out of a mine somewhere. There's another ore stamp right there. This one's a schoolhouse. Let's go in and check it out. We were just talking to a woman that runs this Shafer Museum, and we learned that what you see when you look at Winthrop is actually kind of a facade. Mm-hmm. That the town, the original, like 1890s town, is more or less gone, and then it grew, but in the 1960s there was a push by the people that ran the city to give it a Western facelift, and so then they westernized it, and so what you see today is, for the most part, fake. It's really interesting. It's kind of like Leavenworth, how they turned the city into a Bavarian village. Well, they westernized Winthrop.
Yeah, it seems to be mainly to promote tourism.
And I think they did a good job. I mean, for the most part, I've been fooled.
Yeah.
Thinking I'm walking around in an old West town when really it was turned into this in the 1960s.
Yeah. In Leavenworth, one of the things that I think makes it challenging to enjoy in some ways is the outside, the facade looks very Bavarian, and then you go into some of the shops and the shops are just normal shops.
Yeah, the
right?
the Bavarian facade ends the moment you walk in the doorway.
And there's...
But here in Winthrop, you don't feel that so much because there isn't like such a contrast, like a cultural contrast.
That is true. And maybe that's so much better.
Even like the boardwalks you see, those are not original. They were actually concrete sidewalks that they ripped out and then put in those wooden boardwalks. But I think Winthrop's still worth coming to check out. It's a fun town.
It's a great town.
And there is history here, and hopefully we can find more of it.
Yeah.
Winthrop's pretty cool. I mean, having been all around Washington State, really is the only thing like this, the only Old West town that's in Washington.
I really like this Shafer Museum. It has a lot of really amazing historical artifacts, and it gives you a sense of the history of this area. And I really love walking through the town. I love seeing all the false front buildings along the boardwalk. There's some really great, cute little shops.
We're spending the weekend up here in the Methow River Valley, and we're staying at the Sun Mountain Lodge. I'll throw in a few shots of the Sun Mountain Lodge just so you guys can see, but it's worth driving out here. I mean, it is quite a ways out of the way from just about anywhere, but it's worth coming out here, find a place to stay, and spend a couple days exploring the Methow Valley. Yeah, Twisp is nice. Winthrop's a great place. Like I said, there's really no other town like it in Washington State.
We did learn that there's lots of places to camp around here, so if you're interested in camping, that's also an option.
Well, that's our video on Winthrop. I hope you liked it.
Don't forget to like, share, comment on this video, and please subscribe to Searching for History.
Thanks for watching. Hitting subscribe is free. Winthrop is from the 1880s, 1890s, but like most towns, it evolved over time, and so then it lost those elements, being replaced by new buildings and structures, going into the 20th century, and then, up until the 1960s when they decided to make the facelift.